Alright, so I am now done with stage 4 of New Rules Are Lifting for Women. I do have my results to report to you guys, but I also have some pretty awesome news, which I'm going to share right off the bat. I passed my personal trainer exam through ACE, so I am now officially a certified personal trainer. So that's pretty damn exciting because I've been working for the past 6 months on this, studying every single day. So I passed the exam, I got a really good score on it, and the gym that I joined up at 4 or 5 months ago has also agreed to hire me, and I go in tomorrow to start learning the ropes of that gym. So pretty excited about that. Really nervous though, because as you guys know, I do have a bit of a social anxiety issue. It was really extremely bad when I first started this program. Never stepping foot into a gym, and now I'm going to be working at one. So it's quite a huge jump. I mean, doing these videos, doing the online stuff is going to be a lot different than doing it face to face. And it took me long enough to get comfortable enough, semi-comfortable, to do it in front of the camera. So it's going to be really interesting to see how I handle this issue of mine at work. And considering that it's been over 4 years since I've had a job, other than like for 2 weeks I worked at Petland, and I couldn't work there any longer because it's just the way they treated their animals there was horrible. So it's been a minute since I've had a job. My gut is nuts, I'm really nervous thinking about it, but if I can help people, if I can get them to experience what I've experienced by getting fit, then I think it'll be worth it. And I think once I get into the groove, once I get used to it, I think it'll be a lot easier for me to get a grip on it. So I've been giving myself pep talks daily. I've got little motivational quotes all over my house, on my computer screen, as a screensaver, all over my phone. Now, as far as this program goes, this month, the stage didn't go as well as I hoped it would. I think a lot of it has to do with my eating habit. I've changed them so much to the point that I don't know if I'm willing to change it even further. I'm not too positive on that because last summer, when I was closer to my goal than I am now, my eating habits are the same as they are now. So I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. I think one of the main things, my last check-in here, my weight went up and my body fat went up, but none of my measurements went up. So what I'm thinking what happened is it was about that time for our wonderful aunt that we all have to come visit. And she ended up visiting the day after I took my measurements. So what I'm thinking is the gain in the scale and the gain in the body fat has to do with water retention, because the way I do my body fat was through one of those electronic handheld monitors in combo with my calipers, and my caliper readings were not off from what they were last time, but the electronic handheld one was. So what I am pretty sure is that it was because of the water retention and the bloating, which I've been feeling an extreme amount of bloating the past week anyway. So I kind of expected that to happen. So we'll see in the next check-in in 2 weeks how that plays out. My mommy pooch has continued to slowly shrink. It seems that my thighs have gotten a little bit bigger, but they do feel more muscular. They don't look bigger. None of my clothes are fitting differently. I'm going to throw up a picture here of my measurements. Starting, the first column will be where I started at before the program, and then the end of stage 3, and then here at the end of stage 4 is how I got it set up. After the beginning of stage 1, I ended up gaining, and ever since then I've been working on getting it back down to where it was. I do think I'm getting more defined in places that I'm not measuring. So my body is changing it's just most of it is not changing or measuring, which can be super frustrating because sometimes I see it in pictures and different poses, but on paper it's not showing what I'm seeing, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna keep at it, and I've got stage 5, stage 6, and stage 7 left to go. I got 3 more stages, so we'll just see where it takes me. Now I'm gonna throw up my lifting stats. It's gonna start from the weight I lifted in the beginning of stage 4, and then what I ended up with at the end of stage 4. So it seems like this stage was not so much about the physical progressions, but more about stuff that's going inside. Like with my posture has gotten better. The way my feet went from having no arch to a low arch has gotten better. My form is getting better. And I think those are all victories that need to be counted, that need to be included when you're tracking your progress. It's not always just about the scale. It's not always just about how you look. But there are a ton of other benefits that go along with this type of stuff that you just need to keep track of and you need to appreciate. I think it's worthy to note that I haven't gotten sick in a long ass time, and it's because I'm taking better care of my body and I'm lifting weights, so broken bones, no sprains, no strains, nothing, no injuries, because I'm taking good care of myself now. That's another thing that you gotta take note of. It's not just about the number, it's not just about how you look, it's about how you feel inside, it's about energy, and it's about just feeling good and confident in your day-to-day life. Like, I can lift my 35-pound dog food up, throw it up on my shoulder, one hand, no problem. I didn't used to be able to do that. You know, have it on one shoulder and then the other shoulder, hand, close the door to the SUV. Didn't used to be able to do that. I can pick up my 35-pound son, 40-pound son, and pick him up with one arm and get him up on my hip. No problem. Didn't used to be able to do that. You know, so it's little things like that that just make your quality of life better, which makes, even if I wasn't going for, you know, how I physically look, those in itself would make it worth it. So if it's something for you guys to keep in mind, if you're stuck on the scale, think back and think about all the other non-scale victories or NSVs that you have had. Think about how you feel inside. Think about how maybe you can run up a flight of stairs now and not be out of breath. So these are things that you have to keep in the back of your mind, especially when you're feeling frustrated. You just got to remember all the awesome things that you can do now, the way that you feel. You got to keep that in mind. So the end of stage 4, not what I hoped it would be, but still pretty damn good.